We are rolling. Mic's working. Okay. Hey guys, and welcome to today's Cyber in Seconds episode. This is Adam Sheikh.
And I'm Rohit.
Today we'll be talking about the RondoDox botnet and a particular vulnerability that they are exploiting in XWiki servers. So in this episode, we're going to cover three main areas. Number one is we're going to see what the exploit is. Number two, deep dive into the vulnerabilities. And number three, talk about the fix that's there. So let's jump into the exploit. Rohit, can you just shine some light on it?
Sure. RondoDox is just one of the botnet services which is exploiting this vulnerability.
Right.
So what's going on is XWiki is having an endpoint vulnerability where you can use eval to get a reverse code execution over there.
Right.
And it is being used by setting up a loader as a service for services like malware or crypto miners, or even to set up a DDoS attack.
Right. So yeah. So essentially, you can exploit. You can have the XWiki service execute a code that is being sent to it by maybe sending a modified web request, I guess. Yeah, that does open a lot of world for different things that we can do. Let's talk about the vulnerability more in detail. I think it's the CVE 2025-24893. It is even on the list of NIST and even CISA's known vulnerability list.
Yeah, at 9.8, it is pretty bad.
It is pretty bad. So let's sort of deep dive into what this vulnerability is.
Sure. So XWiki is basically an internal knowledge base kind of a service.
Right.
So anything new, you put it into the server. Now, what's going on is it has a endpoint called Solar Search. This Solar Search takes a parameter as an input field and searches that index and finds the results back for you. So this text field can be exploited because its input is not sanitized properly.
Right.
Now you can use strings like eval, and then in it you can add whatever you want and kind of get code execution over there.
Right. Okay, so essentially what happens is an unauthenticated user can create a custom script and escalate their privileges and essentially execute any code that they like. So they are getting a complete control of the system, right? So like the CVSS score says, 9.8 is pretty bad. So there are a lot of XWiki servers out there which are vulnerable to this particular exploit. Now, getting to the fix, there has been a patch that's been out since February 2025. Yet a lot of systems out there have not been updated. XWiki has posted the latest update, which everybody can update, but updating is not quite straightforward, or patching is not quite straightforward. What do you think about this, Rohit?
That's true. Patching vulnerabilities is not that straightforward in a huge company, as multiple services run on the same server. So if you want to patch XWiki servers, you might have to take the server down, which is not really possible.
Yeah.
Now, although that it's been 9 months, we need to set up a proper timelines in which it is reasonable to fix a patch if it's available.
Right.
So that discussion needs to go down in the in the internal teams to kind of figure out what that point would be.
Definitely. And organizations also have like a very complex change management, and it has to go through a chain of approvals even before anything is done. And it is for good reasons, because we've seen what the CrowdStrike update did, a couple of years back. So we do need to have a proper process where we have this update installed on a sandbox environment and then see if all the other services are not affected and ensure that it's running. But what's the other solution that we can think about over here is that on XWiki's GitHub.
Yeah, that's right. So on XWiki's page, if you see, they have already given you alternatives that you can do on your own.
Yes.
So you can sanitize the input before the search parameter takes it and queries the database. So this is one way to do it. You can either set up rules on your WAF systems to look for whenever they're calling the endpoint, and then make sure that the input is sanitized.
See, at the end of the day, the key takeaway, I think, from this, at least what I see, is that you have to be proactive when it comes to security. Make sure that you are aware of the latest exploits that are out there.
Exactly. When you can't fix it, you have to detect it.
You have to detect it, and you have to actively take actions in order to get your risk level down, right? So that's what the key takeaway is from today's session. Thank you all for listening. This was Adam
and Rohit.
See you guys in the next one. Peace.